All right, good morning everyone, Survival Living here. So, if you have noticed the egg apocalypse, I shouldn't call it that. I know there's a lot of people freaking out about the price of eggs, and it is concerning. Everything from this avian bird flu. There's a lot of things to really be looking at, and it's not just eggs, but we will talk about that here in my local area. I was at our Walmart, and yeah, I still shop at Walmart, ladies and gentlemen. It's just the way it is. I rolled through the dairy section because we needed some milk, fresh milk. We got plenty of powdered milk and stuff, but I like keeping that back for, you know, that shit hits the fan moment. Stopped in. This is an old empty carton. I use that in the garden. Saw the eggs. Well, what few eggs were there, and saw the prices. So went ahead and grabbed one, even though we have frozen eggs that last up to a year because we deep froze a whole bunch of eggs several months back. A 12 count is $5.46 here in Northwest Florida. Yeah. Now, I have gotten emails from people sitting there claiming that they have seen them at $9 to $12 for 12 eggs. Yeah, that's freaking crazy. The amount of supposedly chickens that have died from this bird flu around the world has reached over 300 million. The culling started with the last administration. I believe we're at 200 million. Close to that we have culled here in America alone, and these are egg laying hens. This isn't just poultry chickens, you know, that, you know, you get your chicken, fried chicken, whatever, you know, whatever it is that you want to do with your chicken, bake, teriyaki, whatever. These are the egg laying ones, and that's why we're seeing a massive uptake in the price. But I'm just looking at the media, they're talking about panic buyers on eggs. Well, if you're not deep freezing your eggs, or you're dehydrating or freeze drying, I don't see the panic buying actually happen. The more I looked into it, should be a few pop-ups there for you guys. It looks like the stores are rationing how much they put out. Yeah. So, hopefully you guys took my advice. Several months back when we were showing that we were making eggs, freezing them, putting them back. You know, like I said, they last up to a year, deep froze, no problem at all. You can pickle them, you can dehydrate. I've never dehydrated eggs before. I have dehydrated eggs, those survival foods, the freeze-dried eggs, we have those too. One, I don't have a Harvest Right freeze dryer, so I can't do that yet. It's up to you guys on that. I did notice something else with this whole egg bird flu stuff. There is being a push, a narrative that is out there that is saying that this bird flu is going to jump into cattle, beef. Now, we discussed beef prices the other day, that we're seeing the uptake in the price of beef, and basically my thoughts and what I've said, I don't know, 2 years ago. Whenever Biden said that they were going to take your red meat, they're going to price us out where we can't afford it. Yeah. So I haven't seen any evidence that this bird flu is cross-contaminated into beef and cattle yet, but they're saying it's a possibility. I was watching Full Spectrum Survival this morning, and it kind of dawned on me what he was saying I completely missed. The other day I did a video talking about the lab-grown meats and how they're going to be pushing that. And the fact is, lab-grown meats are very expensive to produce. We really don't have the setup to do mass production of this stuff. And quite frankly, I don't want it. But he had made mention about bugs. I don't know if you guys remember the push, the movie stars talking about eating bugs. Mealworms. Now, I've eaten plenty of bugs in my survival training and stuff, guys, so yeah, if I know it's a bug, yeah, if I'm hungry, sure, I'll eat it. But I don't want that stuff slipping into my daily food source as an organic protein that they have decided to add as a filler for my food. And if this affects our beef even more, well, we can't, I mean, anything can happen. Get another swine flu, anything can affect the livestock protein coming into our dinner tables. The big push of bug protein might be the next big thing. We'll see the little label, your food may contain or supplement it with organic material for protein or something like that. Yeah. Stock up while you can, guys. You know, I catch crap because I stock up Spam and canned ham, you know, canned meat. Well, that stuff's bad for you, yada, yada, yada. Man, I know there's no mealworms or grasshoppers or whatever in that stuff, but that's just me. We stock up canned goods. We stock up meats that we deep freeze. We are always stocking up food, and all this stuff is rotational stock. So we're always using it. Choice is yours. I just try to encourage you to look outside that box and look at the threats that are coming our way. Many of y'all might be, well, I don't care as long as it's flavorful. I know the American palate is so out there with, as long as it tastes good, it is good, even though it's not. Yeah, so to each your own on that. Another quick update for you. You guys remember those Chinese balloons, the weather balloons? Well, they released a statement. I believe it was Newsweek had run an article on it, going over the contents of the recovered balloon that they shot down and crashed in the Atlantic. It had spy surveillance equipment on it. That's right. It also had the ability to transmit information to satellite. According to the Biden administration, said that they was shot down before it ever transferred any information to China. Bullcrap. I'm going to say bullcrap. I hope to do a more thorough investigation on this. The implications of the equipment that was on there, some of it was very cheap technology, but cheap does not mean it can't get the job done. Flying over, they can pick up what we use for electronic frequencies, very close-up photos and videos, whatever it is that's on the ground. Because remember, this thing went over military establishments, everything. This, guys, still has me concerned. You know, the downplay from the last administration on this and why they let it go. I know they said, well, if we'd have shot it down, it could have caused human casualties over cities. Man, there's so many times they could have shot that thing down. They should have knocked it out of the sky as soon as they even crossed into the border airspace of America. I hope the new administration looks at this very hard and continues their transparency. I will definitely give Donald Trump the credit on that. They have seemed to be very transparent in the things that they are working on. You know, I keep saying he's a politician, all right? So I just don't trust politicians. But what I'm seeing with the transparency of his administration, I approve of. I really do. Some of the things that they're implementing, dealing with illegal immigration and stuff, I have concerns. Not because I won't, you know, I don't want people deported that ain't supposed to be here. Absolutely, get them out. They're not supposed to be here. Especially those ones that are allowed to vote and they're not even citizens. Get them out. And they also need to hold those officials accountable for that. That should be a treason charge, if you ask me, because you're disrupting the government of America. You're destroying what we have. There's talks about them implementing a stop check policy where they could just stop you just to check your status as far as illegal or legal citizen. The abuse of power to me is what's concerning. If you haven't done anything wrong, I mean, how would you feel? Now, I know there's going to be people, if you haven't done anything, who cares? It is an overreach. You haven't committed a crime. You're not supposed to be getting stopped by jack squat. You're not. That's how it's supposed to be. But now you'll be getting stopped by a possibility. Let me make sure you have your papers in order. You know, my granddaddy got back a long, long time ago. Somebody who's been in my family has been in the military every generation. And he got back stateside. He said, you know, we're going to be the next Nazi Germany. I was a little kid. And I didn't understand that. I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, you got your social security card. Yep, you got your driver's license. You got your proof of identification of who you are. Where you live, height, weight, hair color, eye color, everything. Papers, please. Yeah. Anyway, guys, my little 2-bit of information for you. Eggs, getting stupid price. I know we still have a better price range compared to everybody else out there, but I was paying less than $2 for this. Now, $5.46. I'm glad we stocked up, but we went ahead and got some of these because I really needed some new cells for the garden. Because we're going to be doing some interesting things out there. As a matter of fact, before I leave, we're going to go and clip in a part of a video I was working on yesterday, building tables for the greenhouse. Anyway, guys, if you want to check that out, stick around for that. If not, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Keep stocking up. Even though Trump is in office, we're going to see a lot of hard times still. And we prep not just because things could get bad. We prep because we know things have a possibility of turning. And while things are good, that's when you stock up. All right, guys. Speak to y'all later. All right, guys. Welcome back to Survival Living here. So, I'm not a carpenter. I am, however, a fitter out in the shipyard. Right now, building a table to go inside the greenhouse. I have a lot of extra lumber and stuff from we're demoing our old house. Should be photo up there. And instead of buying all new lumber, reuse. One of the things we needed was a new table. We have a lot of unutilized space in the greenhouse right in the center. And I want to put this 6 foot by 3 foot down the center so we can actually grow more plants and still have a walkway around. Having the extra space right now in the greenhouse is nice. You don't bump into things, but we need to utilize this space. We've got the greenhouse for a reason and not just to grow around the perimeter. We want to make sure we got something on the inside. So as you see, it's 2x4s. Yeah, there's all kind of different material you can use. We have the fold-up tables. Should be a pop-up there for you guys. Those work great, like 40 bucks for them. Building this with new lumber, you're going to pay a lot more. Okay, this is salvage lumber that I'm using to build this. I don't have any sheeting or anything to go on the top. Actually, the top's going to be made out of 2x4 too. 2x4 as well, let's put it that way. I am going to put a tarp over top of it because when you're watering the plants, the drainage is going to rot out the wood. This is not pressure treated lumber, so use what you have available. This is going to be part of the projects and stuff we're doing around here for our garden this year. One, I'm going to be building a couple of these frames for the corn out here because you have to space them out. Things every 12 inches, 8-inch rows. I'm going to do containers in them, but it'll be lower to the ground. That way it locks in the 5-gallon buckets. And when we have these bad windstorms like we do right here in Florida, it doesn't flip everything over just sitting on the ground. So, same process, same idea, something we work on. I'll bring you guys back in when we get finished up because I'm sure you don't want to sit there and watch me bang on nails. Nails go that way, nails go that way. Yeah, I'm not a carpenter, but still able to get things done. All right, let's get back to work. So there we have it. Frame on the bottom, frame on the top. Should be good. I might need to put some kickers, maybe. Gives us some room for storage underneath. But my biggest concern was the water damage. This is one of my old tarps. It's not a new tarp, so oh well. Thinking about putting this on top just to help mitigate some of the rot, because this can be easily changed out. That's a lot of sand from the last camping trip. And there we have it. I'm happy with it. I'm sure there's many other ways to do this. Feel free to leave it in the comment what you would have done differently. I'm still thinking maybe kickers, but honestly, it's just those styrofoam cups is what's going to be going here. All right, the styrofoam cups of soil going to plant size and selling those off. It just gives us another table. Plenty of room to walk around the greenhouse still and operate. I do have to make another one of these, like I discussed before. The depth is only going to be as tall as a 5-gallon bucket, or maybe just slightly under. And each 5-gallon bucket will be quartered off. That way, when the corn's growing, it won't get flipped, because corn grows pretty tall down here, and the winds that we have, it'll just flip the whole bucket. I mean, I've had cornfields, you know, corn that I've planted just wiped out by the wind, just broken. Having them in their own containers and that secured, I believe is going to be our best option. We got a little side yard alleyway there. That's where I'm going to be putting the corn. We got one potato container out there. We got like 6 eyes currently growing in that one. Oh yeah, work in progress. Like I said, I'm no expert. I just use what experience I have and build onto it, or build things from it. So guys, again, if you're doing this brand new lumber, yeah, it will last you a long time, absolutely, but it's more expensive than these tables here behind me. I think that big white one back there is 2 foot by 6 foot, I believe, and I think it was like $50. So nails, lumber, yeah, it's about the same, if not a little bit more, to build your own. Now this tarp here, even though it's an older one, runs you about $10–12 at Walmart. So choice is yours on that one, but we needed more room, so we added more room. All right guys, appreciate you hanging out with me. I know I'm not the best framer or carpenter, but it still utilizes the same skills that I use on a daily basis now in the shipyards. Fit and build, you know. By the way, I'm really loving being back in the shipyards. I really am. I'm freaking happier. I create with my hands. I use my brain as much as I do not like to use my brain because it hurts so bad. Yeah, but I enjoy it. I feel more self-worth. It's what I enjoy doing. I love mechanic work, absolutely. I just don't like the BS that comes with it. Shipyard work, you're judged by what you do, by what you can do, not what you talk about how good you are. When you're running a torch, you better be good at it. You better make sure that line straight, or whatever it is that you're having to cut angle, your geometry's got to be on point, your algebra, and you want to make sure there's not many drag lines behind you. You want it nice and slick. That way if a grinder does have to come in behind you, quick, fast, effective, and move on to the next piece. I'm not the best, pretty good though. Anyway guys, just encourage you, keep pushing yourselves. This right here, anybody can do this. All right, anybody can do this. Now if you're in an apartment complex and you don't have a yard or anything, yeah, it's more difficult, absolutely, but you can start growing inside your home too. You know, it's an option. You can get grow lights and stuff like that. It's not really the best cost effectiveness unless you got a spare room that you turn into a nursery and going to grow with grow lights year round. I don't know how well that'll work, but it might. I don't know. You know, there's might be some YouTube channels out there that actually do that. Check it out. You know, go search, go look and see what people are doing, and adapt to your own preparedness on that. All right, guys. Speak to y'all later.